Hi, lovely people. Hope you had a great week so far. Well, it's Friday, so end of the week. So I'm sure many people are looking forward to weekend ahead. Um, it's been a very fulfilling week for me and many challenges, but I was doing this course, so it was really good. And I know that not my last video, but the one before, I've been talking about different ways of dealing with trauma, and I mentioned meditation. But it came to my mind that sometimes when we are in the really deeply into the trauma, or we are quite unwell with emotions or physical restrictions, meditation might not always be the best answer, because at the end we have to have the capacity to sit with the situation and to uh, feel all the emotions, and sometimes emotions can be very challenging. So I mentioned breathing. I think breathing is one of the most, you know, helpful methods when we are stressed, or we just feel like we are out of our body. So breath connects us to our body, and in yoga tradition we have so many different methods to breathe and calm ourselves or stop from going to that panic attack mode. So I thought today I just talk about that a little bit, and to maybe focus on one method of breathing that I always find useful. And you don't have to be a yogi or someone who practices all the time, but still it helps. First thing first, when we are in state of panic or distress, what we do, we hold our breath. So when we need our breath the most to calm us down, that's where we just stop breathing. And sometimes when we want to breathe, then as if there is no air there. So one thing that years ago my therapeutic yoga teacher Padma taught us was to first breathe out. Always start by breathing out rather than breathing in, because when you're tense, there's nowhere for the breath to go. So just, and I always talk about sighing, just doing that physically and just moving your body a bit, it really helps to let go of a bit of tension. And then when you're ready, then you start by doing, there's this 4-4 in breath, out breath, which then we change to 4-8. So breathing in 4, the count of 4. Don't forget, first you breathe out, then breathing in count of 4, then breathe out count of 4. And then you just pay attention to the pause in between. The moment that your body is out, is emptied from breath, and the moment that is full of breath. And carrying on with that, maybe do 3 rounds if you can manage a bit more, and then steadily increase that. In breath 4, out breath 5. In breath 4, out breath 6, and so up to 8. This is like the most basic way of regulating our breath, which then regulates our nervous system. And the thing that has been going, because you're focusing on the breath, what happens, and that's what happens in meditation as well. The idea in many meditations are to focus on the breath. But as I mentioned, if you're very anxious, that might not be easily done. But just to focus on this practice of breathing in and breathing out and counting, what happens? The mind starts slowing down, because what's trauma and what's our anxiety connected to it is our mind going like and we all, I'm sure, I mean, I over the years I have personally really suffered with things like panic attacks or anxiety in many ways. So I'm talking about from experience. It's not that I'm saying, oh, it's all been, rosy. I don't think for years I worked as a yoga teacher, in meditation, in healing, and I've never come across anyone who has said, oh, everything is wonderful. And actually, if someone gets to the point that they think, yes, I'm okay, everything's okay, that comes from disassociation, which in the future I talk about that a bit more. But that's how we cope, by saying, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But people who have a bit more connection with themselves know that not everything is rosy, and so many things can get us to that mindset of fight, flight, or freeze. So we're just practicing using our breath to reconnect to our body and to come out of that stressful mode of, oh my god, there's a tiger attacking me. Tiger can be a friend, a colleague, road accident, but in the modern day. But still our emotions and the way we respond is the same. So that's why it's really helpful to focus on that. And if you get a chance to try that, there are many videos on YouTube, there are many classes that they focus on doing the breath and things like yoga nidra, where you go through different parts of the body to relax. And again, by focusing on that, you can make yourself feel calmer and better equipped to deal with whatever is going on. So for now, I leave you with this. I wish you all the best. Have a lovely evening or morning wherever you are. And yes, practice, because we always remember, people sometimes say, oh, it's so difficult to meditate, or so difficult to breathe, or do yoga, or do this. The reality is, it only happens with practice. The same way, if I decide to run the marathon tomorrow, I can't just do it. I have to spend a year or two to train for it. I wouldn't be doing that, but I'm saying for those who might have other things they do that they can see the benefit when they practice, this is the same thing. Just we are recharging the battery. So when you practice it every day, when the time comes, because hopefully you're not always stressed, but when the stress comes or the anxiety rises, because you have the practice, you know how to deal with it. So wishing you all the best, and love, light, and namaste. See you soon.